Every year, tons of people move to Pattaya, Thailand, but many of them don't make it. After living here for 2 years, I want to share some advice today on increasing your chances of surviving in this crazy city. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to peteonretreat. If you're new to the channel, in 2022, I retired at age 49 by selling almost everything I own and moving here to Thailand. There's plenty of different great places to live in Thailand, and I've talked a bit before about how I chose Pattaya, and now I've been here for 2 years. People come to this city for many different reasons, and lots of them just burn out. So let's talk about some things you should do if you're going to move here so that you don't end up regretting this decision. My first bit of advice is get into some healthy routines as soon as you get here. As you probably know, this is a city of sin, and it's very easy to get into bad habits here. Besides the whole lady scene, there's also tons of alcohol and drinking. There's illicit drugs if you're into that kind of thing. And then there's also plenty of unhealthy food. It's pretty hot during the day, and that often keeps people indoors and inactive. When I talk about getting into healthy routines, I'm talking about both physically and mentally. When I see people move to Pattaya, usually one of two things happens. Either they get healthier or they get heavier. I lost nearly 30 pounds since I moved here, mostly just from walking around. But it's also important to watch what you eat. Many people think that Thai food is just going to be healthy for you, and no matter how much you eat, you're going to be skinny because Thais traditionally are pretty skinny people. That is not true, especially if you're eating a lot of street food. A lot of Thai dishes are filled with fats and oils and sugar. It's a common thing in the culinary diet to put in as many flavors as possible, and of course, restaurants and street vendors know that fat and sugars are addicting. So the more they put into a dish, the more likely you are to want to come back and get more. Then there's also all kinds of Western food here, or farang food. You can eat pizza and burgers and steaks all day, every day. And since it's a lot cheaper than it is in our home countries, some of us end up doing that. It's very likely that wherever you move here in Pattaya, there's going to be a gym and a swimming pool. And I think you should start using those as soon as you get here. Basically what I'm saying is don't start off on the wrong foot. As soon as you get here, try to start good eating habits and good exercising habits. You're already making so many changes in your life that if you start off with these positive changes, they'll be adapted easier into your lifestyle. And while we're on the topic of health, make sure you have health insurance. Pattaya and Thailand overall is a pretty safe place, but the roads here are crazy, and I can't tell you how many times I hear a story of an expat coming here, getting into an accident on a motorbike and not having health insurance. Sure, healthcare costs here are probably cheaper than your home country, unless you've got universal healthcare, but it's still going to cost a lot of money. And if you don't have insurance, you're likely to go to one of the government hospitals where the care is okay, but it's definitely not as comfortable. And look, just get insurance. Don't come here without health insurance. Like, seriously. My charity group goes to hospitals, and I've seen expats in hospitals without health insurance. It's ridiculous. Get your health insurance. Insurance is very reasonable here, very affordable. You should get travel insurance before you even arrive here, just in case anything happens from the airport to your first hotel or condo. Then once you've been here a while, you should switch over to some local insurance, because if anything happens, they're just going to take care of you better. It'll be less of a headache getting bills taken care of, and just get insurance, okay? Here's a big one that seems pretty obvious, but know your budget and live under it when you first get here. I see plenty of people come here and they know what their budget is, but you know, it's like the life of a vacation retiree, and they live over their means. It is so much easier to increase your spending than it is to decrease it, especially once you're used to a certain type of lifestyle. That's exactly what I did. I moved here and my first few months were about 1,500 US dollars. My goal was about 2,000 US a month, and that's what I spent my first year here. My budget's actually a lot higher than that, and this year I think I'm going to average around $2,200 a month. Since I've moved here, I've seen people have to go back to work or have to go back home because they ran out of money or were on their way to running out of money. You also want to live under your budget because you need emergency money. You never know what's going to happen here. Here's another one that seems pretty obvious. When you move to Pattaya, avoid negative people. This town is filled with grumpy guys griping about this and griping about that. And it doesn't really matter what they're griping about, but it just brings you down. It's not good for your mental health. I think there's an issue with society now where many of us are programmed to complain and just to hate on things. You see a ton of it over social media, and it's very prevalent in a lot of the Facebook Pattaya expat groups and Thailand expat groups here. I fall for it sometimes too. I know that program's working against me, but I really try to avoid it. I don't know, maybe you like complaining, maybe it's one of your hobbies or pastimes, but I really don't think it's good for your overall mental health. And mental health's important out here. You're moving to a country where maybe you don't know anybody or you only know one or two people. People talk about the Expat High Flying Club, which is a really kind of twisted reference to people that decide this isn't the life for them and decide to leave it. With all of the vices out here, and there's tons of horror stories about a Westerner falling for the wrong woman and just losing a bunch of money and their mental health over it, it's very important you do anything you can to keep yourself sane. So what are all these negative people complaining about? Literally everything. They'll be complaining about sports, they'll be complaining about the politics back home, they'll be complaining about Thai food, or they'll be complaining about Western food, they'll be complaining about it's too hot here, or it's raining, or look, it's Thailand, it's hot, it's going to rain. You knew that when you moved here, right? Sometimes though, that complaining can also be a good thing because it also makes you realize just how well you have it here. Like I was complaining yesterday, I said, man, it rains for 10 minutes every day. Oh, that's the worst thing I've got to complain about? Yeah, life is pretty damn good. When it comes to negative people though, there's the complaining ones, and then there's the ones that just drag you down. The ones that tell you what you're doing is wrong, being judgmental, making you chase after material things, just all kinds of that stuff. So what I'm getting at is when you get here, find some friends and surround yourself with positive people. There's plenty of positive people out here too. I mean, Buddhism permeates throughout the culture and into the expat culture, and plenty of people are thankful and realize how great we have it out here. So find people that are going to lift you up and not drag you down. I suggest you ease into life when you come here, especially if you're coming here for the party scene or the ladies and that kind of stuff. Sure, all of that's going to be great and exciting, but you have your whole life ahead of you to explore that stuff. And if you just rush through all of these things and get used to it or burn out on it, then the whole reason you came here just doesn't feel the same. Maybe that's a good thing. I know plenty of people that come here with that thought in mind and do get bored with the whole party scene and eventually quiet down. Many of them find a wife or a long-term girlfriend, and a lot of them even move out of Pattaya. Another reason you should ease into life when you come to Thailand is because it just leaves more new things to be excited about. If you come here and do everything you want to do here within the first year, then what are you looking forward to? After being here nearly 2 years, I'm really just starting to do a lot of the touristy things here because I knew they'd always be around. Good morning, puppies. Hi. Find hobbies you could do here. Now, this is a big one. This is something that's going to be important for your mental health and just for your overall happiness. You could look into hobbies that you could do out here before you move here, or you could start exploring them after you move here. But unless you want to sit around the bar and drink 7 days a week, you need to find other things to do. As regular viewers of my channel know, I'm a big Dungeons and Dragons player, and I found wonderful groups of people to play D&D with. Lots of people out here play golf or play tennis or enjoy traveling. I've got friends here that go snorkeling and diving. One hobby I discovered that I didn't expect was I'm now a part of a nonprofit charity. The charity foundation isn't a huge commitment to me time-wise. We only meet once a month, and then we do one donation event every month, sometimes two. What it does do though is gives me access to a group of positive people, many of which have become close friends of mine. It also gives me a personal rewarding feeling that just makes me feel positive. Yeah, I keep talking about being positive out here. It's important. Your life is better if you are happy. I really didn't have to say that, right? Life is better if you're happy. So yeah, find some hobbies that you could do out here. There's plenty of them. I know people that go bike riding or belong to a chess club or belong to a book reading group. Facebook has tons of cool groups, all based around different hobbies out here or just based on us living out here, little communities where you could get advice and stuff. So that's a great place to start, to look for like-minded people to just enjoy life with. Here's one that's not talked about a lot, but make sure you know what visas are available to you. If you're over 50, it's pretty easy. You're probably going to do the retirement visa. Another option now is the new Destination Thailand visa, the DTV. I have a couple friends that are on DTV right now. They said the process was pretty easy. There's always visa agents that could help you out, but I also see people that move here and don't realize what kind of visas are available for them. I'm sure the majority of you know what your visa situation is going to be like. Yeah, you could do border runs. You could get a work visa, but it's not easy unless you're going to teach English or manage a bar. Lots of jobs here are protected for Thais only. You could do the education visa, but that's only going to last so many years. And like, I thought I could start with my education visa, but I was too close to 50 when I moved here. And the local Vientiane immigration said, no, you're too close to 50. You'll just have to wait until you get a retirement visa or do something else. And I was seriously going to school to learn Thai. I enrolled in school for 6 months. I went 3 times a week. I learned a decent amount of Thai. Still can't read or write it worth a darn, and I can't understand it when it's spoken to me. But Pud Pattaya didn't know. But that's not the point. And I might even cut this whole segment. Just know what kind of visas are available to you. Do some research before you come here. YouTube. YouTube is a great source for doing research about coming to Thailand. I watched tons of videos before I moved here, and you should too. Watch a variety of different channels. They will lead you to other avenues of thought and other questions that you didn't realize you had. This channel's got several videos that could probably help you out. I've got frequently asked question videos. I've got 5 things YouTubers don't tell you about Thailand videos. I've got do this before you come to Thailand, talking about the things I regret not doing before I moved here, even though I watched a ton of YouTube videos for a full year before doing so. Watching the big established channels, the guys that have been here since before the pandemic, sure, they got lots of good tips, but honestly, I think you can learn a lot from watching new YouTubers, the people that are arriving here every day and starting their own channels, because it's just seeing their whole new experience and experiencing it with them that really helps you grasp and understand what this huge life-changing event might be like for you. I think that's one of the reasons why this channel did so well, is people saw me just genuinely reacting to life and sharing what I learned week after week here. Life is what you make it, and your life can be amazing, wonderful, and rewarding, even here in Pattaya, Thailand. But it's up to you to make it that way.